Ohio is up for grabs. In just hours, we'll know if voters here change the look of the presidential race. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, they're the frontrunners. But the underdogs hope Ohio can get them back into the race.
We have great opportunities to win many of them, so we're feeling really good.
While Ted Cruz is slamming Trump's campaign as violent.
See, sir, one difference between this and a Donald Trump rally is I'm not asking anyone to punch you in the face.
Ohio's governor says he's taking the high road.
The positive campaign is now starting to shine through like a beacon all over the country.
How he hopes that positivity can win him Ohio and much more. And what supporters of Sanders and Clinton hope to accomplish in this hotly contested Democratic race. That's all right here, next on Channel 3 News at 7.
From the station that sees the possible, this is Channel 3 News, brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows. And now, Channel 3 News at 7.
Good evening, everybody, and happy primary election night. A big night. We have a half hour now until the polls close here in Ohio, but most of the polls in Florida, they did just close. Polling locations in all but 7 counties in Florida close at 7. We'll also be watching vote counts tonight from Illinois, Missouri, and North Carolina. Now back to Ohio. Ohio Governor John Kasich is hoping to celebrate a win tonight right here in Northeast Ohio. Kasich voted early this morning near Columbus. Tonight, he is hosting a watch party on the campus of Baldwin Wallace in Berea. Doors just opened up at the Lou Higgins Center. Kasich needs to secure a win in Ohio tonight to keep his campaign up and going. He will be giving one of 2 speeches tonight, either a victory speech or one admitting it's time to end his campaign. If he does win tonight, he has campaign events planned for tomorrow in Pennsylvania. That's important to remember. And our own Chris Ty spoke with the governor last night about his focus, which is fascinating. You were down there in Columbus with him last night.
Yeah.
What is his focus?
Well, I think he's focused on that stage that we just saw not being the place that he says he's done tonight. That's the hope, and I think he's ready for Ohio to be here, and it is here. He says he's staying above the fray in all of this Trump talk, continually biting his tongue, but he says he may not stay that way. He's gotten a little more acidic on the Trump topic. He's planning on being in Pennsylvania tomorrow. That's his home state, but he's not toned down any talk about quitting if he does not win tonight. That is still the assumed game plan. But we started our conversation, which took place down near Columbus, about nerves on this, the biggest night of his political career. It would almost be unnatural to not have butterflies the night before.
I have no butterflies.
No butterflies, not a single butterfly.
I'm completely calm. I'm relaxed, and I'm just really fine. I just believe that the voters will speak. I think they'll honor the record that I've brought to Ohio, and I think they've had it with all the negative nonsense. I've held my tongue. I'm not going into the mud with him. I'm making an observation that I think people in this country and people around the world agree with. You just can't operate this way. Maybe he'll change. I don't know.
All right, so that's your discussion with him last night.
Yeah.
Here's the interesting situation about him.
Right.
And you wonder about what goes into tonight, because really, he's been a man of his word in the campaign, all right? He's talked about being a governor and knowing how to do things, and he did things in Washington before, earlier in his career. The other thing, though, he said he was going to be intent on going after New Hampshire, and he did, and
Yes.
he did well there, and that he would win Ohio, and that if he wins Ohio tonight, there's a way for him to gain momentum and go.
The name of the game is to try to stop Donald Trump from really locking it down. It may not be a clear path for Kasich to lock it in, but if you can stall Trump, that is the name of the game. And the timing of a new ad that came out just in the last 24 hours, Jim, takes what Donald Trump has said about women in an attempt to sway voters, female voters, away from Trump towards Kasich, towards Cruz, towards Rubio. All this on the same day the antics on the trail inside Trump rallies took center stage at an opponent's rally. Watch this.
Thank you, sir. Very charming of you. I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate free speech. And, sir, thank you for being here. We will be respectful. See, sir, one difference between this and a Donald Trump rally is I'm not asking anyone to punch you in the face.
The frontrunner taking heat from opponents, but so far not landing any bruises. He's also taking incoming phone calls from Republican Party leaders.
And I took the opportunity to recommend to him that no matter who may be triggering these violent expressions or conflicts that we've seen in some of these rallies, it might be a good idea to condemn that and discourage it, no matter what the source of it is.
Commercials targeting Trump for language used against women were released in the last 36 hours. Some of his harshest language spoken by women themselves. Trump asked if he regretted the words on the Today Show today.
I have not seen the ad, so I would have to see it. I've heard about the ad, but I have not seen the ad.
That is a classic Trump move where he'll say, you know what, I just didn't see what you're talking about, and then the conversation moves on. Jim, one interesting backdrop going into tonight about John Kasich, as we button my part of this up. He won every county in Ohio except for 2 when he won against Ed Fitzgerald a couple of years ago. He's hoping for even a small sample of that again tonight.
All right, thanks, Chris. He's undefeated in
Yes,
Ohio.
indeed.
Has never lost here. He hopes to win tonight. Now, police have arrested a Cleveland poll worker for pulling a gun. It happened this afternoon at Louisa May Alcott School on Baltic Road. Police say Alan Bethea was arguing with other poll workers and took out a gun from his backpack. Witnesses say Bethea didn't point it at them, but he did threaten them and then fled. Police arrested him nearby, and he faces several charges. Now over to the Democratic side. Supporters for Bernie Sanders will be attending watch parties across Ohio tonight. In Northeast Ohio, they'll be at the Hilton Garden Inn on Carnegie Avenue in Cleveland, and that's where we find Channel 3's Andrew Horansky, who explains why supporters' hopes are so high. Good evening, Andrew.
Good evening to you, Jimmy. Of course, the Sanders campaign had been hoping to snag those 17-year-old voters in Ohio who would be turning 18 by the general election. Tonight, we will know if that strategy worked, but they are expecting a good crowd here around 7:30 tonight when the party here kicks off. So far, many of the people we've seen here are nurses. What do you think of the polls at this point?
Well, personally, I don't put too much value in them because I think we have a good. Bernie has a good ground game and a good grassroots game.
And the event is open to the public here tonight, but if you are expecting to see Bernie Sanders, you will not. He is speaking tonight in Phoenix. Jimmy?
All right, thanks, Andrew. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton supporters are expected to gather soon over at the Winking Lizard here in downtown Cleveland. Channel 3's Hillary Golston is there live, where they'll be waiting for election results. Hi, Hillary.
Hi there, Jimmy, and this is one of the places across the state that Hillary Clinton supporters are expected to gather. A lot of them, though, anticipating a close fight here between Sanders and Hillary Clinton, and the person who is very noticeably absent is Hillary Clinton herself, the candidate, and some suspect that is because of the very close poll numbers and because she's only up by a few over Sanders. She did, however, go to a rally in Raleigh, North Carolina today, and that is where Clinton has a much more commanding lead. The tight position in Ohio and Illinois has some on both sides speculating Clinton could be in a much more protracted battle with her contender than she originally anticipated, despite holding a 600-plus delegate lead over Sanders. What do you think this is attributed to, like the win in Michigan and the closeness here in Ohio?
Well, from what I'd heard, the younger people are kind of gravitating towards Bernie Sanders, which is a bit of a surprise as well.
Now today, Clinton getting out and telling people in Raleigh that she wanted them not to be complacent and to come out and vote because the Sanders camp is expecting that a big turnout will indeed benefit them. We're live in downtown Cleveland. I'm Hillary Golston, Channel 3 News. Jimmy?
Right, thanks very much, Hillary. Now, keep it tuned right here to Channel 3 and WKYC.com for election night coverage. We'll have instant results and live streaming content from the moment the polls close, which is coming up at 7:30. And we're also keeping tabs over on social media with the WKYC.com social room. You can join the conversation by using the hashtag 3Politics and then tweeting at WKYC. Who should the nominees be? It's all up for debate, and we'll talk with a couple of guys, Republican and Democrat. We'll hash out what's going to happen tonight and down the road. Plus, better than the real thing, the reason one business has decided to make delicious-looking fake food that never was intended for eating. That's after the break.
You're watching Channel 3 News at 7 with Jim Donovan.
Welcome back, everybody, on this primary night. It is an election like nothing we've ever seen before. That's one thing both sides of the aisle can agree on. So, to talk about it with us, who should be the next president? Bob France, conservative radio talk show host, as the set comes apart, at WHK 1420 The Answer. Good to see you, Bob, again. Good friend. Blaine Griffin, the Cuyahoga County Democratic Party vice chair. Blaine, thanks for coming here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Bob, what happens tonight? On your side, what are you feeling? Can Kasich pull it off here in Ohio?
You know, I think Governor Kasich should pull it off. I think if Republicans were the only ones voting, Blaine and I were talking before we came on the air, I think if Republicans had their say, Governor Kasich is popular enough in the state to win this state. But I think there's going to be a significant number of Democrats, and we've seen some of them on acknowledging they're going to request Republican ballots and vote for Donald Trump, who they'd rather face in a general election. So my gut is telling me it's going to be very, very close, but I think Donald Trump is going to pull it off.
Blaine, I want to go over to you now. I want to just tell you a quick story before I get your first answer. I was a sportscaster up in Burlington, Vermont, okay? And there was this guy running for mayor up there in short sleeves, campaigning on the top of trucks, and his name was Bernie Sanders. I am amazed at what he's done. How's he going to do tonight?
Well, I think he continues to feel the burn. I mean, that's the reason that he is been so much on fire. I think it's going to be close. I think Bob is right. There's a lot of Democrats, Reagan Democrats, that are crossing over. But I think it's for a different reason. I think I get the notion that a lot of people are crossing over to try to vote for Kasich because they don't want to vote for Trump.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be very close, but the crossover vote is the story of this election.
Bob, this Stop Trump movement, does it really have legs? Or will we see it even get more legs? Or did it start trying to get its legs too late?
Well, the thing is, Jimmy, there's two different Stop Trump movements, okay? And that's the problem. So many people are trying to pigeonhole this thing into two. There's Trump and there's not Trump. There's a three-legged stool here, I think, in the Republican Party. The Trump supporters, there are the conservative Cruz supporters, and then there's the GOPE, the establishment that people talk about. Both of them want to stop Trump. They both have very, very different methodologies.
Formats to do it,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And for the Cruz people, it's Governor Kasich's got to lose today and get out of the race so that he can go one-on-one. The establishment disagree.
Blaine, we all know the Cavs are going to go to the finals.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we all think that Hillary Clinton's going to be in the general election. She's going to get the nomination. What do you feel?
I think that she has a good shot of getting the nomination.
You're not even ready to say she's the presumptive nominee.
I won't call her the presumptive nominee yet. I would tell you that Bernie has garnered a lot of the energy of the young people from the college campuses. He has spoken to a lot of the issues that a lot of people feel passionate about. And let's be honest, as much as people have Hillary and she has a movement with women and others, she still has that one remnant that still is a little bit anti-establishment.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Might it not be good for Hillary Clinton to have Sanders stay in the race to keep her sharp? Remember, Obama was a little flat in the re-election run when he went up against Romney. He got beat in the first debate.
I don't think so. I think if you ask her in her heart of hearts, yeah, she wants to focus, laser lock in on Donald Trump or whomever she needs to now. This Bernie thing is a pain in the behind for her.
Yeah, it really was. It was last week when he won Michigan.
But I've enjoyed the good fight because one thing has made the Democrats, it's called the roll. Right now, it's not about the candidates. It's about the mood of the voter. And that's what I like about this because the true Democratic values are starting to come out.
Bob, can Trump win a general election?
I don't think he can, to be honest with you, no. And I know it's not all about the polls, but the polls are a factor, and all of the polls show that John Kasich could beat her, Ted Cruz could beat her, Marco Rubio could beat her. Donald Trump loses consistently in all of those national polls against Hillary.
There was a poll that came out in Pennsylvania today, and it had Kasich beating Hillary Clinton by double digits.
He's the only one in the Republican side
who do you want to run against, Blaine?
It doesn't matter. Bring them in. Anyone.
That's like the old, sports answer.
I will tell you this, and I will go on record that I do believe that Trump is dangerous for a lot of reasons if he became president of the United States. So I can tell you that's the one person who I would not like to see. So whoever we have, anybody other than that gentleman.
Bob, real quickly, no one's talking about Cruz tonight. Everyone's talking about Rubio getting knocked off in Florida. Can Kasich win Ohio? And is Trump going to roll away with the whole thing? Where is Cruz sitting tonight?
Well, he's not in Florida or Ohio. He hasn't been. They made a strategic decision a year ago, literally, to not fight here in these winner-take-all states where they're going to have popular incumbents like Governor Kasich. He is in North Carolina. He's in Missouri. He's in Illinois. That's where he's going to hope to make his hay tonight.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in. Enjoy the evening. Count those results, right?
Exactly.
All right. Thank you, Blaine. Thank you, Bob. Always good to see you, too. Still to come, finish line fail. The fastest runner gets tied up before he can take a victory lap. But that's not the only reason. He will not forget this race. And Greg D is in with the weather. And we'll be back with him and much more after this. Thank you, guys. That was great. Thank you, Bob. All right, welcome back. A Japanese company has made a business out of making fake food. It is too pretty to eat. Artists make the food from resin. Most of it goes to restaurants. They use models to entice customers, and it often looks more delicious than the real thing. Each individual work is made by hand and begins with a cast of the real thing. One of the toughest parts is adding color. The company also offers classes where anyone can learn to make fake food. This giant diamond could be all yours next month if you have $30 million. It's the largest oval, fancy, vivid diamond to ever go up for auction. The flawless blue diamond weighs 10 carats. It's expected to fetch up to $35 million at a Hong Kong auction. The rare shape and the fact that it's flawless make it so valuable. Breaking a half marathon record is priceless, but for this runner, the finishing tape was more difficult to break. Kenya's Robert Mabithi got caught in the tape after crossing the finish line. Yes, the Bath Half Marathon. The 26-year-old fell onto the road before event staff helped him to his feet. Mabithi was all right. He won $2,000 for winning, and he beat the previous record by 16 seconds. That is the that is both. That is the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
By the finish line, literally.
Greg is in for Betsy.
Oh, man. You know what? This is good running weather, by the way.
Perfect.
Nice and
You're
cool,
right. Perfect.
Cloudy skies. The runners love this, and it's going to hang on right through the evening. Take a look at the satellite picture out there tonight. Cloudy skies, no rain, no thunderstorms to speak of. A much quieter night out there if you're still thinking about heading out to the polls, which close at 7:30. No problem. Weather looks clear all around northeast Ohio. Temperatures are a little bit cool. Notice how they're in the 50s down towards the Route 30 corridor, towards Wayne County. But up here in the northern parts of the county, temperatures here down into the 40s. And that's mainly because of a north breeze that continues to affect us. And that will continue right through the evening hours, keeping lakeshore communities a little bit cooler. 53 degrees by 9 o'clock, 52 by 11. Of course, in the upper 40s if you're coming in downtown. Cloudy skies, it will stay rain-free, I should say, throughout the evening. Area of low pressure and a tornado watch box now stretching from the suburbs of Chicago all the way down to the northern suburbs of St. Louis. We're expecting thunderstorms to get going, and they're already happening here in portions of Illinois as this big area of low pressure slams into a much warmer air mass out ahead of it. I don't expect the severe weather to move into Ohio overnight, but there will be an opportunity for the leftovers of this, mainly a scattered band of rain and showers to move in here Wednesday morning. Then the front moves by Wednesday afternoon, and look what's lurking behind it. Much colder temperatures. We're talking about temperatures sliding down every day Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, eventually bottoming out in the upper 30s by the weekend. And with that, we could even see a couple of snow showers and snow flurries around as well. 40s near the lake, 50s farther south this evening, cloudy skies. Here we go. Wednesday morning, cloudy, temperatures starting off in the 50s, strong southerly winds, and there's that broken band of showers, maybe even a rumble of thunder. Nothing too big here. It will be moving by during the early portions of the morning commute, so you may have to use your windshield wipers on your way to work or school tomorrow morning. Mainly clearing out by tomorrow afternoon. A west-southwest wind will push temperatures through the 50s to near 64 Wednesday, and then shift out of the west Wednesday night, and that's when the temperatures really start dropping. Look at St. Patrick's Day down to 52, 40 on Friday on your Window Nation extended forecast. Saturday is the only bright spot in that forecast with sunshine, and we could even see some snow showers and snow flurries on Sunday with high temperatures, Jimmy, only in the upper 30s.
And before we break for commercial and get ready for a brief moment in sports, on the early returns coming in from the state of Florida, their polls had closed at 7 o'clock. Donald Trump has raced out to a commanding lead in the state of Florida right now by a virtue of a 2-to-1 margin right now in the lead as the results are coming in, but it could be a quick call in the state of Florida. Again, the polls in Ohio close in about 7.5 minutes. When we come back, the Browns go free agent shopping, finally, and they visit with a Jet linebacker. We'll be right back.
Here's what's coming up tonight on NBC, brought to you by CarMax, the way car buying should be.
Well, I know the Browns haven't really done a lot in free agency, but they are kind of picking and choosing their players, and they are taking a good long look at a 27-year-old linebacker, Demario Davis, from the New York Jets, a former third-round pick of the Jets back in 2012. He has played in every game for the Jets over the past 4 years. Now, that is very, very important when you sign a free agent. You have to have a guy that plays a lot. So he's played in 48 games for them. He's had 6.5 career sacks, and he's visited with the Browns today, and we'll see if they let him leave town or if they sign him to a deal as they look for some help on defense as the Browns score, hopefully, in free agency. That's going to do it for us on this primary election night. Thanks for being with us. Entertainment Tonight is coming up next. We have election results all night long, and then a special edition of Channel 3 News at 11, a 1-hour edition. Hope you join Russ and Sarah then. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching Channel 3 News. Take Channel 3 News and weather with you wherever you go. Text WKYC to 25543 now to download our free apps.